Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Dungeons, Dragons, and Space Shuttles. So it actually hasn't been all that long, pack-wise, pack time, really hasn't been all that long, real time either, since the last recording. And I spent some time thinking, and I went mining for a little bit, and I gathered up, I was basically mining 4 diamonds. And I got up to 44, I actually broke my pick and my hammer in the process, so I had to repair those, but... and then we've got a block of diamond here because we're going to be using a bit of diamonds for what we're going to be doing. And I was doing some thinking. We had the power system conundrum. Like, how do we want to go about power in this pack? And originally I was thinking of doing something totally bizarre that I've actually never done before. I changed my mind because I didn't want to do that because it would cut out so many other options for power that are in the pack. But originally what I was thinking about doing, aside from just like my water wheels and stuff, windmills, things like that that are there for decorative power, I was actually considering, and we may actually do this completely in a pack, but I was actually thinking about going with the mana flux field and just building big mana batteries from Botania and then converting that to RF. Because each... it's 10 RF per point of mana. So it's actually quite it's actually quite effective, okay, for producing mana. It produces quite a bit. Like I think a single piece of coal will actually produce more RF doing that through like an endo flame than burning it through a generator. But if we run our entire base off that, it's going to be pretty crazy because I know some of the later stuff like mechanism and nuclear craft and stuff like that take a lot of power. Not to mention it would cut out a lot of like fun options that we have for power. So I think what we're going to do, we are going to do that at some point. Not first up, but at some point we are going to do an area of the base that's just powered off mana flux fields because I think it would be kind of fun, right? It would be kind of interesting to do that. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with a combination of solar panels because, I don't know, I just like solar panels. Even though they're super kind of OP, and especially when you have the Solar Flux Reborn, when you can get up to the Chaotix, which is just astronomical amount of power generation for a single one of those, but they are expensive. To be fair, they are very, very expensive. And they're very light game. Like at this point, we could craft the tier 3 without issues. The tier 4, we're going to need the empowered void crystals, basalt ingots, which we actually have. I think we have some of that stuff. By the way, I did come across a new ore, the Ezo ore. It seems to spawn only around bedrock. I was mining, and I was looking for diamonds, so I was pretty low, and then I happened to come across some of it down right at bedrock. So. But anyways, we're going to go with solar panels. Not today. We're not going to start on that today. We're also going to go with nuclear craft because I like nuclear craft a lot. It's fun reactors, and whenever it's in a pack. Plus Enigmatic, I kind of got cut short, and we didn't get to set up all the reactors that I was wanting to, like the salt reactor and the fusion reactor and stuff like that. So I do want to go with some nuclear craft. Not today. And then today, what we're going to start on is, I haven't done it in a while, and I have a soft spot for it. It's just always been one of my favorite power systems to set up because there's so many moving parts to it, and that's Steve's cards. All 3 of those solar panels, granted, they're not the most exciting thing, I think, but I don't know, I just have a love for them. I kind of dislike the mechanism ones because they're just a little bit OP. I'm not a big fan anymore of mechanism, of course, but I think all 3 of those, they're kind of balanced for the amount of resources and time that you have to put into making them. Like nuclear craft and Steve's carts take a lot of time, fair amount of resources, whereas solar panels take a lot of resources. So I think they kind of balance out well, and then we'll do a flux field setup as well for power, like a big mana battery setup, maybe something on the scale or even bigger as the Entropinium setup that we did on Divine Journey, where there was like, I don't know, like a stack of Entropiniums or something like that, just pumping out just constant massive amounts of power. Not to say that we're going to go with Entropiniums, but we may do something like that on that scale or larger for the mana flux field and produce power from that too, which will be pretty cool. But I think those 4 things will be like our main power, and then we'll have our decorative power like the water wheels and stuff. So today we're going to start on Steve's carts. This is going to be multi-purpose tree farm, coal farm, or charcoal farm, and which will actually feed some of our later stuff, and then also RF power, creosote, just lots of things coming out of this. You know, they're really multi-purpose when you get crazy with them. On the scale of like a cobble works, but with wood-based products. So we're going to have treated wood automated and just all kinds of things like that. So anyways, what we're going to do today, this is actually going to span a couple episodes. And by the way, this episode, there will be a world download, so you guys can grab that. It'll be down in the description if you want to snag the download for that. I'm thinking every 25 episodes, because this series, and assuming the pack doesn't break on me or anything like that, this series is going to be long. Because we're already at episode 25, and we really haven't even started much of anything. We've done a lot of farming and stuff like that, but I mean, stuff's expensive, and there's actually a lot to do, and we're going to go big scale with everything, I'm hoping. So that's why I'm in no rush. I'm just taking my time. Slow and steady wins the race kind of a thing. Cart assembler, this is the number one tweaked thing when I was looking through Steve's carts. This is the number one tweaked thing. It's fairly expensive for the cart assembler. There's quite a bit of pieces that we're going to need. So let's go ahead and get into this. And I guess we're going to start with the Man of Steel gears. These are actually fairly easy. Let me grab a chest. I'm going to set this down like... I'm going to set it down like right here. This is going to be our project chest, because we're going to have a lot of things that need to go into this. Like, I'm going to need 4 glass, 4 chests. Let me grab that stuff, because that's fairly easy. And I did make up some more Man of Steel. So we're going to need 16 total for that. I also got some more steel. I've got another stack of steel running, actually. So, and we did get a quest complete on Man of Steel. And we get either Man of Steel boots, Man of Steel axe with Unbreaking 3, or Man of Steel axe with Sharpness 3. Let's take the Man of Steel boots. And then we also get 5 copper coins, 3 silver coins, a gold coin, and an uncommon loot bag that we are going to toss into the trash. Electronic circuit, 2 sulfur, block of copper, hamburger boron. Yeah, okay. Trash can. There we go. There's 4 Man of Steel gears. Easy enough. And I guess we'll kind of work outwards, sort of. So let's go ahead and get the, well, kind of outwards. Let's go ahead and get the advanced PCBs. We're going to need, actually I'm going to make more of these than what it requests, because we're going to need a lot of them. We're about to eat through a lot of resources, so just be prepared. This is going to get expensive. There's a lot of crafting involved with Steve's carts. I absolutely love it personally. I'm a huge, huge fan. Okay, we'll start with 12 simple PCBs. We're probably going to need more, but we'll just play it by ear, and then we're going to get our 2 advanced PCBs. I'm going to go ahead and toss those into there. Okay, and then we're also going to need Triberium. We'll go ahead and get that. That is Tiberium and dilithium, or basalt ingots with Tiberium ingots. Okay, we can get our basalt ingots from basalt blocks, which I did mine up some of those. I was thinking that we were going to need them. So I guess we're going to make our Triberium this way, or actually we can alloy it. Okay, so it's 1 millibucket of fluid to 5 millibuckets. Okay. Okay, so we're going to need 20 Tiberium crystals per basalt block. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 crafts, I think. Well, we'll go ahead and pop on over. We're going to get that stuff running. I actually should have brought a hopper with me. I need to make this bigger. I just haven't. Oops, no. I don't want to do that. Okay, this stuff actually smelts up pretty quick. So the basalt's what takes so long. And this should make a fair amount of that Triberium. Because I know we're going to need a lot of it. And as time goes on, it seems like it's pretty, a pretty common liquid. And, or common material that we're going to need. I know Nagapito said that we're going to need a bunch of it. So, this stuff, of course, the Tiberium and the basalt. The basalt you can find down in lava. That made 4 ingots. Okay. Well, that's enough. That's enough for what we need it for. So, I wasn't paying attention to the conversion rates on it. I was like, oh, okay. This should be quite a bit, but... Nope. But then, of course, you mine the Tiberium in the Nether. That's the material that explodes. That green stuff that's like everywhere. Just a heads up on that if you're having any issues finding that. So, but anyways, there's our 4 ingots of that. I'm trying to avoid using my alloy kiln right now because I've actually got red alloy ingots being made because we have a quest for those and we need 64, and you can make them a lot faster if you just smelt them, but it takes more redstone that way, so I'm going like the slow and steady route. So, and then we're going to need some linear actuators, which takes jacksum and Carmazine? Ah, okay, I think, yeah, that's this stuff. So, jacksum and Carmazine. And we're going to need, okay, just one of each of those. But can I double this by chance somehow? Yeah, actually, in the alloy smelter, that doubles it. And this doesn't alloy... No, okay, it doesn't alloy with just jacksum. Okay, so we'll get that going, and then I'm going to need sticky pistons, and I'm going to need ferroboron alloy and copper gears. Oh, and I dumped 2 of each of them in there. I really only need 1 of each, but that's fine. We may find ourselves needing more of those before long. So, okay, so the ferroboron alloy. How is this made in this pack? Alloy boron and steel together. 1 to 1, it makes 2. Boron, of course, just being a fairly common nuclear craft material. So I'm going to do 8 and 8. So we get 16 ingots. Actually, I feel like I should do 9 and 9. So I can just pour out 2 blocks, maybe. Because this is something I know that we're going to need a lot of later on. And then we need 2 pistons. I'm going to use sticky pistons because I have a bunch from doing that roguelike dungeon. Well, I actually only have 2 more now. But that way I can save my pistons because, I don't know. They're not that bad to craft, but... Okay, and that ferroboron is going to take a minute because that boron takes a while to smelt up. I did get the jacksum and the Carmazine, though. Okay, so that stuff's done. We need basically this section, then we need these plates. Let's go ahead and get these plates going. Vanadium, we've actually got a bunch of, and we need 8 of each of these. 8 lumium and 8 vanadium. Vanadium, you just find it mining. It's right here. I've got quite a bit of it. So we'll get 8 of those, and then we're going to need 8 lumium, which I believe we can actually make this as an alloy. We're going to need silver, tin, and glowstone. And then glowstone, I think it's 250 per. So, okay, so I'm going to need, I'm going to say 8 crafts. That's fine. That's exactly what we'll need. But I'll get the smeltery moved here pretty soon because it's actually going to be going over in the bottom layer of the factory. Because my plan is the bottom layer of the factory is going to be a lot of our machines that we actually manually use and stuff like that. And then the upper layers of the factory are going to be a lot of automation and stuff, more hands-off type area. Oh no, I can't dump out ferroboron as a block. So I'm going to have to dump all this out. We're going to automate this with redstone soon enough, but which I can't remember, but I don't think this pack has Tinker IO, so... I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and get enough stuff to make 1 more piece of lumium. That way I can just dump that out as a block. That'll make life a little bit easier. Okay, so there is our block of lumium. And then we can get, let's see, cart assembler. We can get our linear actuators. So there's 2 of those. This stuff's just left over. And then we have to go get the vanadium plates and the lumium plates. Which, of course, we made that new machine. So plates are a lot cheaper now. A lot cheaper than they would have been if we hadn't got that. We're going to be automating clay here soon, too. It's really not all that difficult, but we are going to be automating that. So there's our steel plates that we had running last episode. This isn't quite filled up, but that's mainly due to the fact that it's not chunk loaded at the moment. So, okay, so there's our 8 vanadium plates, 8 lumium plates, and 2 linear actuators. Next up, we are going to need the cleaning machine. I actually want 3 of these. 1 for the cart, because it's really nice to have. Oh, this is actually elite crafting. Oh. So, that's fine. It's actually not that bad, but I didn't notice it was elite crafting until just now. But that's okay. We'll get the parts and then we'll get the elite crafting table. But the cleaning machine, we're going to need 3 of these. Means we're going to need a bunch of orange dye. And then some iron, and then some iron, and some iron. We're actually going to need these, which I'm going to need, what, 24? Okay, well, I have 34 in my chests. That's perfect. I like it. So that's not an issue. We've got that. We're going to need, like I said, a bunch of iron. And then we're going to need a bunch of orange dye. So what I'm going to do for the orange dye... I need to gather up more of that, too. Let's see. We'll do... I'm going to go ahead and just make like 20. I think that'll be plenty. Okay, so there is 40 mystical or floral orange powder. That should be fine. Yeah, we're going to need more of that, actually. Okay, so there's another 24, 48. There we go. And now we should be able to get this knocked out. I got too many. That's fine. I'm sure we're going to need these again, so it's not a big deal. I just clicked... oh, yeah, I need them for this, too, so never mind. I'm going to need more anyways. Let me get some redstone. There's 6 cleaning fans, and then we need our... those... Okay, I actually need just a little bit more floral orange dye at the moment. Surprisingly enough, I did not, in fact, make too many. Okay, but there's 2 cleaning machines, and then we just need... I actually didn't mean to click that, but that's fine. And then we'll get our 3rd one for the cart itself. Okay, so that's at least one cart piece that we've already got. It's done. And we'll get into what that does later. But anyways, okay, now we're down to just these 3 things. These are all engineer workshop type things. For the microchips, we actually get 2 of these out of curiosity. Let's see. That's just steel, electrotine transistors. I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and just buy 2 of these because they're actually not that expensive and it just kind of saves us some time and effort. Because otherwise we don't end up using the coins very much if we don't use them for something. So that's one step knocked out. I've still got to do this part. It's 1,000 super glue each. And we're actually going to be automating these before too terribly long as well. So, okay. This. There we go. And then we need 2,000 super glue. And then we'll get our 2 advanced... oh, I didn't grab enough. Oh, and actually my cutter's broke too. Okay, so there's our 2 advanced control circuits. Alright, and then all we need to do is get the microchip. Which this takes 2 microchip tier 1s to craft and 3,000 super glue. These take transistors, electrotine, red alloy. Okay, I think we can buy the tier 1s for 5 gold and a platinum. That's what these coins are here for, is to spend. So we might as well get to spending. Because I've just been hoarding the things, and I'm building up a decent stockpile of them from the repeatable mob kill stuff. So, okay, so we're going to need then 8 circuit boards. Let's see, 2. Can I do the? Yeah, I can. Okay. And I can do that. Okay, so we're going to need 2 nether quartz, 2 lapis, and 2 gold plates. Which actually I've got. There's 2 lapis, 2 nether quartz, and 2 gold. Hey, that worked out perfect. And then we need infused silicon. And there we go. Done. Okay, and now we're good to go, I guess, on that. And then we're going to need the 3,000 super glue. There we go. And then we get 4 microchip tier 2s. Wonderful. Okay, now we have everything that we need to craft. Oh, wait. No, we don't. Because I don't actually have the right crafting table. So, scratch that. Okay, to get the correct crafting table, we're going to need 2 of the advanced ones. Copper plates, iron plates. Which I actually have all of that on me. This is working out. This is working out pretty well, in fact. So, there's that. And then we're going to need 5 steel plates, a block of gold, and a prudentium gear. Okay, so there is that. Or there's the prudentium. Then I can get the prudentium gear. There we go. And then I just have to grab my crafting table, and we're set. There we go. And what is it? What do we need? Okay, block of terra steel, jacksum, imbued slate, osram, platinum plates, ultimate catalyst to make that one. At least you don't have to make them in the tier, in the, you know, in the other table. So I think it was Sevtech that was that way, where you had to have like, you had to craft them within the table of the tier that you were upgrading from, and so you ended up needing like an extra one, and so it got a little bit expensive. Okay, so the cart assembler. Oh, I need 4 more vanadium and 4 more aluminum plates. Oh, I have 4 aluminum ingots. Oh, what? That worked out perfect, actually. I guess I had them from, I don't know, probably a loot bag or something, I imagine, if I had to guess. Or dungeon loot, maybe. Of course, we made 1 extra earlier, but I had 3 from something. Okay, I've got the plates made. There we go. There is our cart assembler. A little bit expensive, but luckily we really only need like 1 of these. Unless it's used for... No, it's not used for anything. Awesome. So, that's done and over with. Okay, so this thing, what we're going to do is we're going to set it up... well, for right now, we'll put it here. This will move over. There's actually going to be a little... almost like a little depot. I'll take you over there real quick and explain this, because it's going to take us a couple episodes to get the Steve's carts set up. But honestly, the hardest part of this is out of the way already. In my opinion. The biggest, most expensive part of the craft is out of the way. But actually, right over here, like, this is going to be like a gates wall type section that goes around here. But actually, this little part right here, you can see the walls actually, it's setting a little bit lower. This is actually going to be a depot where my various Steve's carts will come into this depot and drop off their stuff, is my plan. So instead of having it just deposit into a chest on site and then send it over with item nodes, we're actually going to have the carts travel to the factory and dump off the stuff there. So that way it's going to be, I think, a little bit cooler. Because I was planning on having like a cart depot there, and then I was like, well, I should definitely go Steve's Carts power, because we're going to have a little depot and moving parts in the base is what I would like to have. So that's the plan. And then from there, everything will get processed and turned into power there, you know, on site at the factory. There's going to be a little power building for the Steve's Cart stuff and everything. So it should be cool. So, okay, so we got that. That's great. And then the next thing we're going to need is the actual cart hull, which I tend to go with reinforced hull. It's more than enough. We are going to need to make ourselves a bunch of reinforced metal. This is where things start getting fun. Hardened mesh. We're going to need refined hardeners. Luckily, this is actually standard craft. This may change in time. I don't know. But we're going to need to get ourselves a bunch of obsidian and a bunch of diamonds. Which I actually might have to go get some obsidian. I didn't think about grabbing more of that. I've got 24. So yeah, I'm definitely going to need... maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to start with 24. We'll see how far we get with that. So there's 12 raw hardener. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need more. So, okay, I'll be back here in just a second. I'm going to go just mine up just a bit of obsidian. And I'll be back here in just a second. Okay, I got some more obsidian. I'm going to start with 14. I'm sure we're going to need more than that. I'm positive. But I'm going to start with 14. Okay, so the reinforced hull. We're going to need the reinforced wheels. We need to make the stabilized metal, iron hardened mesh, which is iron bars. Which, if I need more iron bars, I mean, I can craft them. They're really not that bad. But I'll probably just run down to the roguelike dungeon and just snag them. But let's go ahead and get 2 hardened mesh. And then we're going to get 2 crafts. That's 10 stabilized metal. And we'll go ahead and get that smelting. And I will say that we're going to go ahead and bypass the basic and the hardened woodcutter. We're going to go straight for Galgadorian in this pack. We may have to go farm up some gas tiers, but it's unbreakable. And for something that we're going to be running constant for power, if we can afford the unbreakable, which it's really not that bad, we're going to go straight for it. And let's go ahead and grab the pieces that we have. And that's really just the cleaning machine at the moment. And we'll go ahead and drop that into our cart assembly. Oh, I can't because I don't have a hull yet. I'm about to get a hull though, so. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our hull. We can afford it now. So the reinforced hull, we're going to need to get ourselves 2 sets of reinforced wheels. And then we are going to need to get the hull itself. There we go. Just a whole bunch of stabilized metal, and we can drop this into there. And I know I've went over this, you know, every time I cover Steve's carts, but I'm going to go over it just really, really quickly. You have, on the cart, you have a modular capacity, a modular complexity cap, max engine count, max add-on count. What this means is modular capacity, every module that you add to this has a certain amount. For example, if you look at the cleaning machine, the modular cost is 23. So everything added together cannot exceed 500 on this cart. The complexity cap means that I can't use any modules that cost 150 or over 150 modular cost. Okay, it's rare to find things that are over 150. 150, I mean, that covers most everything. It takes a really crazy cart with all kinds of crazy additions to it to need like the Galgadorian hull or something. You know, reinforced tends to be great for most things. Max engines means that I can only have 5 engines on this cart. That's the most I can put on it. And the max add-on, I can only have 12 add-ons total on this cart. That's what that means. So let's go ahead and toss our cleaning machine on there. And you can see it goes on the cart. You can also see that it conflicts with front chests and front tanks. It occupies the center of the cart. So we can't put like a seat or something on this cart because we already have something in the center. But what the cleaning machine does is it will suck up any items that are dropped on the ground near it as it passes through. So basically it keeps your farm clean, your tree farms clean, and you don't have just junk lying around everywhere. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to need is we're going to need storage for this. You can see we have 4 storage slots, and this is not all that expensive. You have a few options here. You can do side chest, top chest, front chest. I tend to go with internal chests. They do have a modular cost of 25 each, but they don't occupy any sides, and we can have duplicates. And they have I think it's the same storage or pretty close to the same storage as these other ones. I can't remember. I barely ever use them. So, but we're going to need to get ourselves chest panes. But we're going to need to get ourselves some chest panes, which is iron and stone and lots of wood. And then what's great is once we get this thing up and going, we can add like a sawmill. So we get our woods all duplicated. The sawmill's not that expensive from what I saw. And then we're going to automate treated wood through it. We're going to have sawdust coming in, just all kinds of stuff, right? It's going to be great. Chest lock. And what's nice is 32 chest panes per craft, and that's perfect to make 4 internal storages. So it's super, super cheap. We'll go ahead and toss those on there. So there we go. You can see right now our total cost is only 123 on this. And you can see the total time, that's how long it's going to take to assemble the cart. 24 real life minutes. I know some people don't like the real life time crafting because it's going to get up to like 2.5 hours or something like that. It's really not that bad unless you're just like really in a rush to just push on through. Usually it's not that bad. So, and you can make speed upgrades for it. They're generally so expensive that they're not really worth it because they're like efficiency 5 book and you need reinforced metal and stuff, and that's just for a 10% speed increase. If you want the really good ones, like 100%, you're looking at needing Galgadorian metal. So unless you're just like pumping out carts and you need them now, the speed upgrades usually aren't that great. And there's also like disassembling time. There's a bunch of different upgrades here. This one I tend to like. If you're going to make changes to your carts, it is kind of useful, but it's not that expensive because it allows you to take your carts apart and get all your pieces back and stuff. But we'll probably get into some of these upgrades later. Okay, now the next thing we're going to want is a coal engine. This right here. You can do the solar engine. Solar engines are cool if you want to save a little bit on power, but I usually just stick a coal engine in it and be done with it, honestly. So we're going to need a furnace, 2 pistons, and 5 iron. And there is a tiny coal engine, too, that you can make. That's just slightly cheaper. But we're just going to do the full-fledged coal engine. There we go. And we'll go ahead and toss that in there. We've got our engine. Okay, we still got to get our tool. That's going to be the most expensive part of the cart. The cart assembler, I still feel like it's a little bit more expensive. Now, a couple other things that we're going to want. Give me a second. I'm going to think, because I don't know if there's a couple ways that we can do things. We can either do a smelter. These right here, the smelter or the advanced smelter. I like the advanced smelter more. I go with those a lot of times. and they're not really expensive. If you want to make coal on the cart itself. But I think what we're going to do is just make the coal, have it dump all the wood just as is, make the coal elsewhere, or the charcoal, and then pump charcoal back over to the cart and just keep it fed with charcoal. I think that would be better, because I'm going to be getting creosote if I make the charcoal outside the cart, and I'm going to be using creosote as one of the power sources. So I think it would probably be best if we don't do the smelter.